And we're live.
And we're
Hello and
live.
welcome to the 142nd episode of Game Theory Gang. I'm Matty Allen with Fast Abdul and ChrispyMan of Hexfire.io. Welcome.
Thank
Hey
you, man.
guys,
Got my
let's
cigar. I'm
go.
ready. I'm ready. I'm not going to light it until Bitcoin on PulseChain hits parity. Now I'm going to light it just right after the show, but
That's
I'll have
right.
another one that I'll light for that. How about that?
Well, hit the like and subscribe button here. Share this out. This is going to be probably our briefest episode ever because we were just live on another channel, and I think I got permission to replay that so people can hear from us and everybody else that was on the stream. But yeah, this is we're definitely continuing this. We're live. What with Sami?
Yeah,
Turns out he's not an but a very fine gentleman.
he still could be
Um,
AI. Like technology's come a long ways.
Mm,
okay. Well,
yeah.
that was certainly a treat. And then there were so many people who hopped on. It started to feel or something. But yeah, it was really enjoyable to be on Saint Wolf's channel. We talked what PDI, wrapped Bitcoin, game theory, pulse chain copies, flipping Ethereum copies, and so forth. What was your guys' favorite game theory point of discussion from that stream just now?
Man, 5 hours is kind of a blur to tell you the truth, but I think the theories and the discussion around PDI were very interesting. Like some people thought it was going to peg overnight, and some people thought it would take some time. And of course, I'm building infrastructure around that, so I'm particularly interested. I'm on the it will take some time side, but the audience, a lot of them thought it was in the next 3 days, right? That kind of thing.
Well, it could
Yeah.
happen. It could happen.
Well, and do you want to give people just a quick preview of like what type of infrastructure you're building for PDI pegging?
You bet. Let me just adjust my camera here. I seem to be frozen. One moment.
Yeah, you seem to be frozen. You're like in the desert by yourself. Oh, you no longer in the desert.
I'm gone. What's going on here? Oh, there I am.
Oh,
Okay.
there he is.
And my suit changed. Cool. So anyway, Yellow Cake and I are building a Liquidity fork. So for those of you who don't know Liquidity, you might know Liquid Loans. So like Liquid Loans, but for PDI. So PDI might not be $1 right now, but we can use it as collateral for $1 and provide a. I don't have an official name for the token yet. We're working on token names and logos, but there'll be a PDI backed stablecoin on PulseChain. And I think that's going to be a huge boon to the ecosystem. I'm consulting with the PDI community extensively, and yeah, we're just going to send it. But before we send it, we're going to audit it. So I think it's going to be good.
Well, that's a great idea, and you're certainly well qualified to lead that project. So,
thank you, sir. I appreciate that. But yeah, we'll have to hit that harder another night, perhaps, because it's a little bit heavy. But there's going to be all sorts of game theory around, like you can turn your PDI into dollars before it hits $1, if that is your belief. I'm not saying it's hitting $1. And there's going to be a place where you can put your PDI where you'll be able to effectively stake it, where you'll be able to earn some revenue. There's all sorts of things that people will be able to learn. And it really is about learning. Like these kind of things need to be approached with informed decision making. So, but I think people having a place to put PDI, and there's not really that many places to put it right now. I think that could make a big difference in the price performance. Just my opinion.
Right on. Yeah.
Well, I think it's gonna perform without it. But that doesn't mean that won't help. More PDI locked, less to dump. Value to come out. I could see the game. I mean, I don't participate in the game of the liquidity forks, but this idea of depositing and borrowing against and reusing the value, and then borrowing against, reusing the value, and then trading. Right. I mean, I know a lot of people are doing it very successfully. I mean, I don't do it because I don't think I'd be successful at it. And I'm sure there's some people that have not been, but that's the game, right?
There's a liquidity component too that I think you probably would have a very strong understanding of, because when you mint this PDI backed stable coin, people will be incentivized to pair it with probably real DAI would be the pair. So they'd be like the PDI backed stable coin backed with DAI from Ethereum. So which like, and everything flows back into PDI. So this could very much increase the connection between PDI and DAI from Ethereum, and certainly, almost certainly would increase the volume of liquidity indirectly, but very, very connected with PDI and DAI from Ethereum. And I think that could be a thing.
Yeah. Excellent game theory there.
Thanks, man.
100%, baby.
And Crispy, what was your favorite bit of game theory from like the past 5 hours?
Well, I didn't watch 5 hours. I was doing all sorts of onboarding and discussions with people and all sorts of other stuff going on. But the part.
What about from this week?
The part that I did here that I really think is pretty important, and I brought it up just a few minutes ago in that stream. This liquidity is sunk. And what do I mean by sunk? I mean, we have sunk liquidity between all these different pairs, including, the wrap Bitcoin, P-copy, PDAI, PUSDT, PUSDC, and there's many, many more. That liquidity is already sunk, meaning it's already spent. It's already in the system. It's set into ratios. And there's no getting around from the fact that it's there, right? So unless all these cats get herded and they all go remove liquidity, it's here to stay, right? And so that is, depending how you look at it. I mean, some people don't like it, but it's super bullish, right? Because those units are allowing some of the what I would call flippering to occur, where you have these different assets, kind of flipping each other and moving up, and we see that with PHEX and PDAI, where you have the opportunity to swap into each other, and so it's very fascinating to me. And I think that even if somebody does come to start dumping this stuff, they're not going to dump enough, and so it's becoming pretty interesting to me, how all this can continue to go up and to the right.
Yeah, I think the liquidity is certainly one of the most interesting aspects of all this. And yeah, I mean, don't get me started on Hart's Law, because that'll spin into another 5 hours.
Yeah, and I don't know which ones are going to win, and I don't know if all will survive. I mean, we've seen some things fail, right? But all of the tokens that go up in value represent potential marketing dollars that could be spent when the right person or group wants to come over to PulseChain.
Right.
And then, and I don't know, a lot of people kind of poo-poo it that none of this is real. Okay, I understand the perspective, right? But kind of like saying crypto isn't real. But I mean, I said, I long time ago, back in May, I sent out what I call the crispy scratcher to everybody in my group, and anybody who had joined my website. And the crispy scratcher was, $300 position, USDT, PUSDT, PDAI, right? And well, that I did a $500 position. It's 3,000 now. So, does anybody really question that I could get 3,000 out if I really wanted to? No. So for me, it's real, right? So if I decide to dissolve that position and sell those P copies, I'll take some slippage, but I'm like 99.99% sure I'm getting to a stable if I want to.
Even if there was slippage, you could LP out, right? Like we have V3 liquidity on the PulseChain. You could put up a single.
There's so many different things.
Many options.
Yeah, I updated that. I updated that model fast too. So this might be interesting for the current prices, and we kind of figured out that if you, and I'm not recommending to go do this. This isn't financial advice, but looking at what could happen with impermanent loss if I go set a pool with PDI and PUSDC for $1,000, right? Well, I can expect if it goes to $1 for whatever reason, that when it gets to $1, that'll be a 50x, and then if it is in a position, it'll earn a little bit extra. And so you're looking at something like a 50x on $1,000, $50,000, right?
Doesn't sound terrible. I have a farm right now, Crispy, that pairs PUSDT, PUSDC, and PDI. And
I know.
It is paying. It is.
I know.
Paying well.
You told us about that a couple of weeks ago when I brought it up here. I think on the show you did, and I went and tested that. I'm like the king of testing, so I went and put $100 in to see what. Yeah, it pays. It's paying.
Yep.
You know?
This is the game. But like of course, impermanent loss, you have to have belief in all the things you're providing liquidity for. I believe those three things are fairly connected by liquidity. There seems to be a lag on USDT, but anytime you're providing liquidity, like if one side of a liquidity pair rugs, you have a problem because it will pull down the other side with it. It's not, don't do it unless you believe in every token you're providing liquidity for.
Yeah, 100%. The only reason I even talk about those things is because I'm kind of like investigating all this LP and whatnot. But I have to admit, I set the position. It's like, well, I didn't go in with 50,000 because I don't know what the hell's going to happen. But 500 to 50,000, I like that, or 1,000 to 50,000 is good. I'm willing to take that risk, but it is a risk. And in no way, shape, or form does that take the place of my belief in Hex, right? It's just part of this overall thing because, like Maddie's talking about over collateralization, which I love when you bring that up now. Over collateralizing positions. A big part of my work and what I do with my group is trying to figure out, well, you say you're going to get out sometime. How do you do that? And that's what Fast is talking about. And it's pretty, it's a lot more helpful if you have enough stables.
Agreed. Funny, the stream we were just on, one of the big things that somebody was pushing was don't sell your core coins to buy PDI, right? And by core coins, he meant like Hex, PulseX, Inc. I think that's like right now, Hex and PDI are a 1-to-1 ratio, more or less. And that was somebody's big thing. I've heard him say it on stream a bunch of times. It's like bring in fresh capital to play these games, and don't fumble your bags. So it's
I think
cool that we have this momentum, but you could get hurt if you're not careful.
Yeah. One of the consults I had today, we were talking about that. You're looking at, well, which winner do I want to sell, right? And so the answer is maybe none of them. And you know what? You just have to accept that you're not changing position. Now, there probably are some people with dry powder that could do something. But, if you're already set and you're in the best positions, why would you, you don't change horses in the middle of the game. That's how you end up getting chopped up.
Yep, very true. You always hear about the one guy who got lucky on a trade, right? But there's a lot of guys. Gamblers don't talk about their losses. That's how it works. Guy goes to the casino, wins $10,000. He comes home, goes to the bar, buys everybody drinks, tells them about the $10,000 he won, but he never tells them about the $300,000 he lost over the next 10 years. So I think traders get wrecked is what RH used to say.
Yeah,
100%. And that's why we buy t-shirts,
right? And okay, so to fulfill the promises of the thumbnail, I'll quickly retell my story. So if people don't have time to watch the 5-hour stream, I was super lucky to meet the new U.S. crypto czar, David Sachs, over the weekend at a Christmas party where 1,000 people were there, and I didn't even pay for a VIP ticket, but somehow I still got to introduce myself to him and gave him my business card. which in this case was a $100 trillion bill from Zimbabwe that I wrote my phone number and Twitter account on. And of course, he thought that was very original and liked it. We didn't get a chance to like cut it up about crypto, but I said, hey, I think I could help with your crypto policy. And so like, more evidence of me just like going out there and going for it. Like, maybe the odds are low that he'll put me on his team, but that doesn't mean that I can't ask and that I can't make a good case for it. I became like acquaintances or friends with like the CEO of his podcast, the All In podcast, which like there's so many coincidental things. They started their podcast the same week I did, 211 weeks ago. They named it the same thing I did, All In, which like that's how I found them in their week 3. It was because I was like researching my own analytics, and then they had a Back to the Future after party at their most recent conference, so I was able to bring like the DeLorean there with permission and like show it off to all the guests and everything. So there've been all these like coincidences, and then then like out of nowhere David Sachs gets appointed to be the next AI and crypto czar, and so I'm gonna go for it. And the CEO said that he would do like an introduction and pass on my email. So basically the idea here is, I think the US should have the policy of being chain agnostic, or like, welcoming of all the chains. And that would be a huge win, even if just that talking point like makes it into the decision making. And then the other idea is that, if the US wants to be number 1 in crypto, we have to have the most users. And,
Yep.
The idea there is like, the US could go so far as to like, mail everybody a card, like a social security card, except now it's something that has a private key on it. They could fork Time Pays Me and like have a way for people to take self-custody of a private key that they didn't create themselves. Like there's lots of cool game theory that I would love to hand over to the people who say that they're trying to give crypto a fair chance now.
You'd be good for that, Matty. I think you should.
Thanks.
They should consult you. You know a lot about crypto. You know a lot of people in crypto. You could provide, a different but grounded perspective.
Yeah, thanks. I'm, like eternally optimistic. So, I'm gonna, put together whatever the slide deck I need to and like, send it off and hope I get a meeting. And if not, that's fine. But, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And it's pretty like eerie that I was even, like already scheduled to go to this Christmas party even before like, even the guys who do the podcast with him for 211 weeks, they didn't know until Trump announced it that like that their best friend was getting chosen for crypto czar. So, that I guess that's my latest dream is to like, do something with that. And, but other than that, I appreciate everybody like, dropping their support on my Twitter post, because I did tag David Sachs in that, and it did get 527 likes and 143 retweets. And so, it looks good when I've got so many people backing me up. So, hell yeah.
Very good.
But with that being said,
doors of government, I like it.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's supposed to be that the government's evil, and that's the opposite of crypto. But I'm seeing like a once in a lifetime opportunity that like, Trump was debanked. That's why his family is like creating their own Aave fork and stuff. Like, Eric Trump was at the Bitcoin conference in wherever that was, in Europe or Asia or wherever it was today. He was saying, they're going to go, balls to the wall on this whole crypto thing. They're going to, go above and beyond what everybody's even predicting. And so, of course, politicians, they say whatever they want to, but he's not trying to get elected anymore. So
I know. Well, and for anybody who wants to follow the progress, DJT, that's the stock symbol. DJT. Go check it out.
Look it up.
And
that's not related to their crypto efforts, though, is it?
No, it is. That's the company. But at least that's what I believe. Somebody let me know. If it's not, I believe that's their technology company. Okay. So if Michael Saylor can do what he's doing.
Yeah. I think like it would be such a huge win for humanity to just, to be able to get everybody a private key, to be able to have the US like not be only supporting one chain. I mean, David Sachs was an early investor in Solana and in Bitcoin. And so currently people are speculating that, that he would be the most partial to that, but he might make a point to like not be partial to any one of those as a way to like, have credibility. So it'll be really interesting to follow along and maybe, maybe some of those talking points will make it in.
Very good.
But
Very
good. With that being said, super exciting times. And, we're at a really good point in crypto history as always. I would just, I'd do a shout out now. The more people that can go, I know we already said this before, but if you can show your support for Roger Ver, by going to freerogernow.org, that would be highly appreciated. I already signed the petition there. And if you haven't yet, that's a great way to make a difference in the world. Roger's like the person who's probably done the most for crypto that's public, up there with like Richard Hart, like they're both probably in the top 5 or the top 3 people. So, he, right now Roger's facing over 100 years in prison for, releasing his book about hijacking Bitcoin. So, go like freerogernow.org. And, I think we'll have a replay of like all the game theory discussions that we had on the other channel. But for now, can you guys tell the new people where to follow you at, where to find your content?
Well, sure. Hexfire.io for me. Hexfire.io.
Perfect.
My content has recently expanded, so I can be found at 2phux.io. That'll take you to the 2Fox website, links to Telegram there. And my new website is pstability.com. And that's all about the liquidity fork that we're doing for PDI.
Pstability.
phux.io and pstability.com.
Yeah.
Both websites are live.
All right. I'm going to load up the thumbnail here and okay, great. So until next time, stay wisely, my friends, and peace out.
Stay crispy.